So this video is going to show you how to make a texture plate that you can use for crayon rubbings. You need some paper, some thin cardboard, some scissors, a glue stick, and some crayons. I'm going to start by cutting and trimming the paper into quarter sheets, so folding it in half 2 times, hold it in half once and a second time, then open it and cut on the folds to make quarter sheets. Then, with some scrap thin cardboard, like a cereal box or cracker box, I'm going to cut the cardboard to the same about approximate size as the paper. Then I'm going to take one of the quarter sheets at a time and I'm going to make a snowflake. So folding it in half a few times. And for the first one, I'm cutting out small shapes and lots of them, basically trying to create a texture. So I need lots of small shapes cut out. You may need to open it up and refold it to get some of those areas. Then open it up and set it aside. Then the second sheet, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to cut out some larger shapes. So big shapes, it can be any shape that you want, but just make sure they're big enough that they'll show through to the small shapes. So I'll show you now. Layer them on top of each other so that you can see the small shapes and the big shapes together. It's going to be a double layer texture plate. I'm using a piece of the extra paper as a buffer for keeping the glue off the table. I'm using a glue stick, coating the whole thing with lots and lots of smooth glue. I'm going to layer it down, make sure it's totally pressed down. Going to do the same thing with the second layer. Still using that extra sheet to keep the glue off the table. Going to press it down, smooth. This one didn't stick down totally, so if you find pieces aren't laying or sticking, you might have to lift it up the corners and just kind of add extra glue as needed. Then I have some of these extra little pieces that I wanted to add in for a third layer. On that scrap paper there was some extra glue, which I'm going to use to stick those pieces down. I'm showing a close-up so you can see the texture. Get rid of those scraps. I'm going to let the glue dry for a little while. And then you've got your crayons ready and your extra pieces, quarter sheets. Lay it down on top. You're going to hold it in place really steady. Don't let it move. And just completely coat it. You can do one color, solid color, like this. But you can also get creative and do some different things. So on my next one, I'm doing basically like a sunset design. So I'm going to put another sheet down on top, hold it in place really nice and steady. And I'm going to use like a dark black for the mountain or the hills. Put some yellow in the bottom and then add orange, red, purple, and blue to make a sunset. And you can see the texture really nicely too. I'm going to show a close-up of that so you can see the texture. So the possibilities are endless here. There's so many things you can do. So it's up to you. I did a few other ones that I'm not showing in the video, but you can keep working on it, keep making more.